If you had a free evening tonight and you would watch a movie in a cinema style at home, what would you pick? For me, probably the second one from Alien series. Is anyone even using them anymore? So do let me know your choices in the comments section. And today we're talking about cinema in your home. It is time again to try a new projector that you can have right now. I've tried several in the past with mixed results, but some of them were better than others. Today I have something that is absolutely small. This is Wanbo New T2 Max. And I'm saying new because it's a new version of T2 Max and it also has new as a product name. It is getting slightly confusing, so I'm going to refer to it as a T2 Max because you already know it's new. My first projector was Xiaomi DLP and I thought it was small. Turns out it is not. This is seriously much smaller, very portable. You can put it into your backpack, take it with you to your friends and organize a movie night on the go because it, despite being relatively inexpensive because you can get it for less than £200 in UK, comes with a plethora of different options. So let's take a closer look. It is a 1080p native projector. It means there's no silly upscaling going on. It comes with Wi-Fi and there's a dual band support, including 5G Wi-Fi, which is nice and simple and slightly limited but practical I/O choice at the back, including HDMI in, USB port type A and audio jack, which is 3.5mm if you want to output your sound this way. It comes with a dedicated power brick which uses DC jack, and that got me thinking that actually since it's a 19-volt power supply, they could have gone with USB Type-C and just throw in USB Type-C charger. That would be so much better and so much more portable. But it is what it is. Apart from that, it comes with a single button, so don't lose the associated remote because, well, it's going to be much harder to operate this thing. If you pay close attention to the projector's body, you'll see the grill at the front, grill at the back, because it has 3-watt speakers. At the bottom you'll find a tripod screw that you can use to attach this to a tripod or appropriate mount and use in a different orientation. And that's all from the hardware standpoint. Now, software-wise, this is a smart projector, which means it has an Android TV box inside. It's based on Android 9, which is okay and it works as intended. When it boots up, it runs the Android TV version of that Android 9, preloaded with some apps, third-party store and also support for Google Play Store. So if you're looking for your favorite Android apps, those are probably pre-installed, so apps like Amazon Prime, Disney+, Netflix, YouTube or Plex. But if you want more apps, it comes with pre-installed Google Play Store and the third-party App Store in case you want to browse around. Now, another thing that you can do, because it's its Android box, you can sideload the apps using the USB port at the back. It offers 16 gigs of internal storage, 1 gig of RAM, and that's pretty much it. It's not a highly spec device, but it does its job and I don't have much complaints about it. To make your viewing experience slightly easier, it also comes with CEC and ARC supports for HDMI, and also you can set different inputs at boot, which means it's going to take you where you need to be automatically without even using the remote. And speaking of quality improvements, let's talk about the remote for a second. This is infrared remote and usually they're hit and miss, but this one works pretty well. It even can turn your then scroll wheel or tap wheel or whatever you want to call it into a mouse. Bottom line, it works as expected, it gets you through the menu, it allows you to access many functions. And speaking of cool functions, we have autofocus and we also have 4K keystoning, which means even if you have the projector at a slight angle, it will self-adjust itself at the expense of available resolution. So be mindful of how you're pointing this thing. And on the subject of projecting things, let's talk about the screen that you can cast with it. Now, it shoots straight and up, which means the bottom section of this projection will align with the bottom section or bottom height of the projector itself, so bear that in mind. And it's a projector that would I classify as a medium throw. What do I mean by medium? At 1 meter away from the, in my case, wall, it gave me a 40-inch display. As soon as I moved it to 2.7 meters away from the wall, I was getting a projection size of 105 inches. To put that in perspective with previous projectors I had, Well, if I put Wanbo T2 Max in the same position, it would simply overflow the entire wall, cast on the furniture and the ceiling itself. It's really, really wide. It's not a short throw, but somewhere in the middle, I'd say. And as it's a smart projector, you can project it like this, upside down, and also have options for the rear projections depending on your use cases. And in terms of noise, it's actually quite quiet, and I could recommend it for a bedroom use. It's a smidge louder than my Xiaomi DLP, but as soon as I started to play any content, that noise of the projector just disappeared and I stopped paying attention to it. Alright, technical aspects aside, let's talk about the video and audio. My first annoyance was that on launch the logo of the projector was not in focus. And mostly because it needs to boot up to get to a focusing stage, then it refocuses itself. That annoyance was swiftly removed on the second boot because it would remember the last set focus and the splash screen logo was in focus yet again. Nice. It won't annoy me. I know it's a small thing, but I thought I'd gonna mention it. You probably wonder how bright this is. Online, I found information that it has 5000 lumens or 450 ANSI lumens, making it not suitable for day projections. However, if you draw your curtains or if you have a particularly cloudy day and it's evening or night, you're gonna have a good time. It's bright enough for nighttime projection, it's bright enough for drawn curtains. Anything else, you're gonna make a small sacrifice. When the environment is dark, you can use the picture settings to dial in the picture quality. And after tweaking brightness levels, I quickly discovered that going full brightness was an advantage because I was overexposing quite a bit and losing detail in color. As I said, this is a 1080p projector, so if you're gonna distance yourself about 3 to 4 meters from the wall and cast a 100-inch projection on the wall, you won't notice pixels and everything's gonna be looking pretty good. One thing I noticed was that the projector was sensitive to corner blurriness. To get even sharpness across the projection, you'll have to keep the projector centered. In addition to that, move away from the wall too much and the distance from the lens to the corners of the projector will overrun the depth of focus, resulting in corner blurriness. So be reasonable, don't try to cast 200-inch screen, it's not going to work very well for you. So despite a much smaller size, I would rate this projector to be on par with previous projectors I reviewed, which is very promising. Now, there is one thing that we need to talk, and it's sound. Initially, I didn't expect that much from the 3-watt speakers built into this projector. After being overwhelmingly impressed with the Xiaomi DLP sound, I decided to tweak the audio a little bit and my experience got better. Now, granted, better meaning we still have this form factor speaker and there is a limit to what you can get out of it. But after tuning in quite liberal settings of audio, I discovered a sound profile that didn't make me run and look for additional speakers. So if you're planning on having a cinema night, you can definitely get away with using these speakers. The high frequencies weren't exactly amazing, and let's face it, you don't want to turn this brick into a subwoofer because you'll start shaking and that will corrupt your image. So you've got the middle ground in there that will got you covered for a couple of months or weeks until you get bored and you're looking for new speakers. And if you're looking for new speakers, I've got a video in the corner about majority audio speakers that you could get on the cheap and provide you with much better sound. I've mentioned at the beginning of my video that it's not just TV shows and movies that I like to watch in bed. From time to time, I like to grab my PlayStation 4 controller, sit down and play some either Helldivers, the original, even though I have Helldivers on my PC, or Alien Nations and similar games, because I love gaming on the big projector. It's particularly well suited for twin-stick shooters, strategy games, etc. In my opinion, having a massive screen is disadvantageous if you're trying to play first-person shooters, so that was definitely not my style of gaming. I'd rather have a smaller screen for that. So what was the projector like in my testing? First of all, when you plug stuff into HDMI, you get additional advanced menu in settings. That advanced menu only appears when the input is connected, so don't be looking ahead when you're just browsing through the interface. Now, once you get in there, you can activate a couple of extra modes, including gaming mode, which is also known as a low latency mode. So I've played a couple of games while filming with my camera set to 50 frames per second, so I could easily recalculate the time, and through my very scientific way of counting frames, I discovered that the projector was lagging approximately 3 frames behind my input. Clearly it's not lag free, but honestly I wouldn't call it a deal breaking. I had fun, I played some games, and honestly, for the most part, I didn't notice it. Now, yes, if you're playing games like Counter-Strike and stuff like that, you probably don't want to do it on a projector anyway, because apart from not giving you a competitive edge, it's just not looking too pleasant to play these kind of games on that big screen, because your neck's gonna hurt a lot. That was my alarm. I accidentally set an alarm on my desk. Did you know I've got a fancy desk? There's a video in the corner there. Okay, let's talk about the smarts of this projector, because there's a couple of things I would like to point out. First of all, Android box, you already know that, I already said that to you. But at the back we have a USB-A port to which you can connect mouse and you can connect keyboard, which probably you want to do. And if you want to connect both, you can use something like this, which is a USB hub to connect more than one device. And that will save you some clicking to log in and set up your initial apps. Honestly, do yourself a favor. Unless you have Bluetooth devices, which you can also connect. You can connect a controller, mouse or keyboard, or all of them at the same time, and provide input for your projector wirelessly. Very handy, very nice. Additional way to control this is Easy Share or eShare. This app will turn your mobile phone or tablet into an input device that allows you to transform it into a touchpad, mouse, keyboard, and even launch the applications directly. Honestly, I didn't expect that to work really well. As soon as I launched the app, it was connected and I had no problem with it. So yeah, I'm kind of liking it. I already mentioned multiple stores that you can use to load your apps or pick your apps from, or just side load them via USB. But the overall interface, it's slightly on the sluggish side. It's not the first time I'm experiencing Android TV not being super swift. After playing with expensive mobile phones, it is definitely a difference. It will get you where you need it, even if you need to wait a couple of seconds for the app to open. So don't panic, everything worked as intended, and well, I had a good time. So honestly, what do I think about the Wanbo T2 Max, the new version of it? It's pretty good, especially if you're looking for a projector that you can take with you. Honestly, it's this small, it's slightly bigger than my heart is here. It's my heart, and you can easily put it into a backpack, take it with you, and have a film night wherever you go, whether it's outdoors at night or at your friends in a dungeon without window. So if you're looking to get one, it costs less than £200 right now in UK. I'm gonna list the links to the product itself in the description of this video. So big thanks to Wanbo for sending me this for review. I'm super happy with it. I'm definitely gonna keep this on my shelf now for future projections and gaming. And if you want to know what's going to be on the channel next, you know how YouTube works, I don't have to tell you that. So use the tools provided to keep in touch. But I do have a couple of social media links down below, so consider following me there, starting your conversation with me, and I will definitely see you in the next video. Take care.